The Finance Minister, Bill English, has been confirmed as the New Zealand's Prime Minister following John Key's surprise resignation. English and Deputy Prime Minister Paula Bennett have been sworn in at a ceremony at Government House in Wellington. The appointments were confirmed after a meeting of the ruling National Party's caucus. English also served as Deputy Prime Minister under Key's administration. Well, New Zealand's new Prime Minister, Bill English, said his administration would now focus on economic growth.
In the coming months and years, we will focus on building the roads, public transport, schools and houses needed to support a strong economy and the growing population. We'll also focus on better incomes for our households, safer communities and smarter government support for the most vulnerable. This will be a government supporting economic growth and ensuring that the benefits of growth are widely shared.
Let's get more on this and speak to Caitlin McGee, who is live for us in Auckland in New Zealand. Good to see you, Caitlin. So we know that John Key was an incredibly popular character. Bill English has got some big boots to fill, hasn't he?
He does, especially because Bill English has already had a tilt at leading the National Party back in 2002, and he led them to one of their most disastrous election defeats. So his track record on leadership isn't that flash, but since then he has cultivated a good reputation as Deputy and Prime Minister and Finance Minister, and he says he's learned a lot since then and is now a very different leader. So he and his new Deputy, Paula Bennett, who we just saw before, was sworn in a few hours ago, and now the focus is shifting to a cabinet reshuffle, which Mr English says will happen before Christmas. So the number 1 and number 2 spots are cemented, and we also know that Stephen Joyce will become Finance Minister, but there is opportunity now for change among the rest of the cabinet, and there are some underperforming ministers like Louise Upston and Sam Lottawinga who could be on the chopping block.
And what about policy-wise? Can we expect any changes in policy?
It's difficult to tell at this stage, but Bill English is a much more conservative politician than John Key. He's an active Catholic. He's voted, or at least said he's opposed in the past to abortion, same-sex marriage and euthanasia. Same-sex marriage is, of course, legal in New Zealand. So looking ahead, as we heard in the clip as we heard of Mr English saying just before, he talked about economic growth and sharing the benefits. So signs point to his government continuing on that same track as John Key with economic and trade policies, which have been a big part of Key's vision, I guess you could say. He's really pushed for New Zealand to be open for business in terms of being a global player in trade. But whether those policies and that focus, if you like, are still viable for the public, we'll have to wait and see next year in the election, because he talked about the wealth being shared, but New Zealand has, over the past couple of years, soaring inequality, housing unaffordability is a big issue, and as is growing homelessness. So those have become very important social issues that have left this national-led government open to much more criticism and public anger than it's faced in previous years.
OK, Caitlin, good to speak to you. Caitlin McGee there for us in Auckland.